Keyboard Exchange International.
Howdy folks, this is Garrison here at Keyboard Exchange International. Here to remind you to like our videos, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. That way you can always be informed of what's more within our store. Now back to the video.
Hi folks, Jim Huss here at Keyboard Exchange International with our technical team, Mr. Rick and Mr. Grant. Oh, I love that Shakespearean shirt that you're saying. To be 3 or not to be 3? That is the question, especially here at Keyboard Exchange. However, let us not dwell on Shakespeare, because now we want to talk about the Hammond organ tone generator, which we just recently removed from a B3. Now, everything about that B3 was wonderful, but in the restoration process, Mr. Rick brought to my attention, what did you say when you brought it to my attention?
Suddenly started rumbling.
It's suddenly started rumbling.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. So, at that point, Mr. Rick said, we are compelled to remove that tone generator from the B3 to see what has happened.
Yeah.
Investigate.
Yeah.
Yes, it was like an investigation. Thank you for that word, because
Our own CSI.
Mr. Grant, here's an evidence bag.
I see.
During the investigation, what we found was
Drugs.
something.
No.
No, worse than that. Something very suspicious. At first, we thought it was cat hair.
Yeah.
And how did cat hair get into Hammond B3?
A hairball.
A hairball or a dust bunny. We weren't really sure what critter was in there, but it really, when it got back from the lab, from analysis, it turned out to be something of a material nature that was not organic.
Right.
It had nothing to do with animals. It was just some piece of, maybe it was in there from the factory, who knows?
Yeah.
You know, some debris. But anyway, it got caught up in the tone wheels. Now, Michael, if you could let people see what the underside of an operating tone generator looks like with a close-up on that. And gentlemen, any comments you'd like to make about this particular situation are invited.
If you notice, the amount of sound that it generates is very, very quiet.
Super quiet.
Yep.
What vintage is this? About a 1963, 64?
This is 65, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's 65.
Are these the keyboards that came
Yes.
out?
Yeah, so we had this noise in here, and the only way to see what's happening in the tone generator wheels is to turn it over. If you lift up the keyboards with it inside the cabinet, you can't see any of these wheels. All you see are the capacitors that are all on the top. So we built this little jig so we can flip it over and wire it up and have it run. So before even running it, we just took a look through here and saw there was a big bundle of, looks like string and fabric fibers and dust and stuff like that. We pulled all that out, vacuumed it, and then started her up, and everything was great. But
Super smooth now.
Yeah, we oiled everything as well. But previous to the grumbling, it wasn't making any noises. It was operating just fine when it came in. And sometime during the restoration process, at one of the startups, it started making a noise that wasn't grinding gears, but there was something kind of like a rattling or grumbling.
Absolutely.
And
it's good that we found it here.
Yeah.
And that's part of the restoration protocol, is to play these instruments in the shop here, take them out into the electronic shop, make sure everything is perfect. Now, we actually did a lot more work on this instrument because it is from 1964. And some 1964 B3s had felt in the keyboards and some had foam. So Mr. Rick and Grant had to remove the foam from the keyboards and thereby have added a label on the front of the keyboard so it will be known in the future. And we also like to put that same little sticker inside for technicians, and in case that little sticker on the front disappears magically somehow over decades, that's possible. But now that the foam has been removed from the keyboards and every note works correctly on every drawbar, that sticker says certified foam free. A lot of people ask us, hey, what does certified foam free mean? That means we went to the effort to remove the keyboards from the console. We identified the possibility that it had foam in there by the serial number, which told us the year of production. And in this case, we had to get in there because 64, it could be one way, it could be another way. That was the year they kind of decided that they could save a few pennies switching over to foam to secure the tiny wires, hair-sized wires that go to each key. There's like 9 drawbars, and each key has 9 wires, 9 contacts. Multiply that times 61, it comes to like some gigantic number, which I can't immediately.
Ginormous is the word.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of wires in there, you know.
1044.
Thank you. It was on the tip of my tongue. Would that be per keyboard or
The whole thing.
It's both keyboards? Yeah. As I was about to say, there was 1,044 wires that could be damaged by the foam as it decomposes from heat and humidity, and then it causes a chemical reaction with these 1,000 and how many?
44.
1,044. I need this. That's good to lock that one in because I hadn't really calculated that lately. But
The human calculator.
He's great. So anyway, where were we? We were talking about this generator. Okay, so the keyboards already came out once, were put back, everything was put back, and then that fuzzball, that bit of thread, that whatever it was, got stuck in there, and it made a little clunk sound, so the generator had to come out again. So now when it goes back, we will know, and Rick, you got some special Hammond organ oil right there. You're getting ready to oil every single lubrications location. It's going to be lubricated, it's going to be foam-free, it's going to be certified to play correctly. Whoever buys this organ, they're going to be really, really happy with the fine instrument. So do either one of you have any concluding comments before we sign off?
Just a close-up, if you want to come in pretty close here, we'll show you what we had to do to make sure that this thing's well oiled. Is in this position here, we have access to each one of the individual bearings between each one of these little brackets here. Has its own little bearing. So we can have direct access to each and every one of the gears bearings. And that's one of the reasons why this is excessively quiet.
Especially quiet, yeah,
Yes.
That's great. Well, now it's a marvel. It's really a marvel of engineering in the first place.
Yes,
And not everyone knows that Mr. Hammond was a clockmaker before he started making organs. Well, his accountant at the factory, I'm told, was a church musician, and they noticed that the clocks would emanate a musical tone sometime from their spinning gears.
Yeah.
And from that point, the musician and the inventor said, hey, well, let's make an organ. And then it went on to say, hey, we're making organs now, but the pipe organ manufacturers, you said, you can't call that an organ.
No.
Oh, no. You
Has no pipes.
We're pipe organ manufacturers in the 1930s, and they said, oh, only we can call our musical instrument an organ because we make pipe organs. So it went to court, and that was some exciting times. They put a Hammond organ, a Model A Hammond organ, or possibly the prototype even, Model A, behind a curtain, and the pipe organ was behind a curtain. And then they had an audience of people that were musicians and knew music. And they had a contest to see, according to by the court's decree, if Mr. Hammond was going to be allowed to call his invention an organ, he had to win that contest. And it's something like 51% of, or some 50-something percent of the people thought the Hammond organ sounded more like a pipe organ than the pipe organ. So with that information, the judge said, Mr. Hammond, from here forward you can call your musical instrument an organ. And that's the story, and we're sticking to it. God bless you all. Thanks for your time and attention. And if you don't know what you're looking at, tell your musician friends, because it's a rare day indeed when any of us get to see the underbelly of a Hammond B-3 tone generator. It's a beautiful American invention, and our 1935 Hammond Model A would look, if we took the generator out of that, would look very much the same or similar. Anyway, thanks for your time and attention once again. God bless you all. Take care. Hi, I'm Jim Huss, speaking with you from the showroom at Keyboard Exchange International. We'd like to thank all of you who have helped us grow our business for the past 51 years, and it is our intent to find good homes for all the instruments we have gathered from all over the United States. Thank you to the families that have preserved the instruments and then sold them to us, knowing that we would find good homes for them. If you, on the other hand, are in need of an instrument, please give us a call. There's been a lot of effort to gather these instruments together, and we would like to make you part of the Keyboard Exchange International family. Let's all work together to keep these fine instruments going long into the future, so that we now and future generations can continue to enjoy the wonderful sound of the Hammond tone wheel organ. God bless. Signing off.